The 2024 European Talent Cup has witnessed history in this season. Past class legends such as David Alonso, Ethan Guevara, Max Quiles, they were all touted as record setters for years to come. But one rider this year has already added his name and at times exceeded their achievements, Carlos Cano. Just 14 years old and in his first season of ETC, he's won 6 races and has the title bagged. The 7th win today gives him the all-time record for season wins in the class. It's one of the most exciting talents in motorcycle racing, but that's not to say he can't be beaten for a win. Marco Morelli and Giulio Pugliese having done so already. ETC only has one race, but it could be a historic one here at Estoril. Kiko Giles and Lewis Sotheby up here in commentary, and we have just about got our breath back after JuniorGP's first race. We've had 3 winners and 8 podium finishers in 2024 thus far in ETC. It's been a season to remember for many.
Certainly has, and we're hoping to end this season with the kind of racing which has made the European Talent Cup so fun to watch this season. Yes, it might have been dominated by Carlos Cano, but that doesn't mean that the series has been one-way traffic. A lot of his wins this season have been very closely fought and closely contested, and we're hoping to have another finale to continue on that vein. Last time out in Aragon, of course, the championship was decided as Cano took victory on the final lap to secure the title. Here's what happened last time out.
Wow, what a dramatic race it was last time out. That was at Aragon, of course, in Spain, but we are here at Estoril, and this one will be for Liam Hodgins. There are actually beaches near Estoril. There weren't any in Aragon, which, of course, he was soon taught by the wonderful Connor Doherty. So just in case you were thinking of Aragon for a beach holiday, think again, Liam. So we're getting on for ETC. This is your only race for this class this afternoon, this morning, whatever you want to call it, but this afternoon by the time we get going. And we have a pole sitter in David Gonzalez. 8 podiums, Lewis, this year. He still hasn't won a race, but he did take pole. This is how he did it.
The session is very difficult because I push very hard on the first lap and the second and the third and the fourth and 6, 7 lap. I think is my best lap, and I am very happy for this, for the work of the team. Thank you for my sponsor, family, and team. I think I can win this race. I'm going to push hard to can win. I am very happy. This is my last race in Talent. I'm going to win, I think.
David Gonzalez then on pole. Big Dave, as he's known as up here in comms. Fantastic stuff from the number 11, as we alluded to. 8 podiums, none of them wins. It's his last time going racing in the European Talent Cup before stepping up. And, of course, he will look to sign off on a high, Lewis. He's 4th in the championship. The title's already been done, but a good chance to finish and make everyone remember him as a winner, because at the moment he's not.
Yeah, he's had a number of second places already this season, 4 of them, in fact, which have helped him get involved in this 3-way battle for second in the European Talent Cup, which is the main item of interest, I guess, the main thing to be decided in this final race of the year. Giulio Pugliese here is another of those involved. He goes from the middle of the front row, equals his best qualifying this season. Pole position continues to evade the 16-year-old Italian, but the three-way battle for second in the points, as mentioned, Gonzalez and Pugliese are in the battle. It's led by Marco Morelli, the Argentine, who starts from the front row of the grid. He's 18 points clear coming to this one, so he only needs to score a handful of points, 8 or better, and he'll finish the season running.
Marco Morelli, of course, 2 poles, 2 wins in 2024. He's aiming to guarantee that P2 overall. He's only had 1 DNF all season, and it came here, so he'll be looking to not repeat that one this afternoon. But Morelli really taking it to your eventual champion Cano, just falling short in the last couple of rounds.
Enjoyed his comments on social media yesterday, Marco Morelli. He's had 2 poles in the first 3 rounds of this season, but none since. And he said on social media yesterday, it seems we are allergic to pole position. But as we have seen in European Talent Cup over the course of the season, pole is by no means a guarantee of victory.
Here's his fellow countryman, Valentin Peroni. 3 podiums for him this season, but no wins. And of course, that first podium came here at Estoril, so happy memories from May.
Peroni, of course, will be a Moto3 World Championship rider next season. He'll be joining the Tech 3 squad in Moto3 next season alongside a former JuniorGP alumnus in Jacob Ralston. So it's a farewell to the class and to the paddock for Peroni as he looks to potentially get himself up into the top 3 in the championship. A win could be enough if things go his way.
Here is the record setter, perhaps. He's already got 6 wins, 7 podiums and 3 poles. But Carlos Cano, your 2024 ETC champion, 1 more win, and it's a new class record. Now that puts him up in the echelons of Ethan Guevara and David Alonso. We know what David Alonso can go on and do, the young Colombian this year in the Moto3 World Champion.
Both of those names, of course, went on to win the Moto3 World Championship, and David Alonso has already been termed the baby goat. Are we having another potential rider on that kind of career trajectory? Second row of the grid is where we find the number 4 of Gabriele Tessini, the 15-year-old Italian, although he does hail from San Marino. Qualifying hasn't been a particular strong suit for him over the course of the year. It's only the second time this year he's qualified inside the top 10. His best ever race result is a 5th place. He could potentially better that from the second row of the grid.
It's his 10th race start as well, so he's racking up the experience in the class. Keep an eye out from that number 4 on the AC Racing team. Teammates to this rider here, the number 11 of David Gonzalez. We said about Carlos Cano and David Alonso. If David Alonso is the baby goat, then perhaps Cano's the kid.
Let's take a look at the grid then for the final European Talent Cup race of the season. Of course, qualifying done in groups. Group B was the quickest of them, topped by David Gonzalez. Pugliese was top of Group A, which puts him second on the grid from Morelli and Peroni. Carlos Cano, the champion, 5th from Gabriele Tessini. Enzo Ballon heads a strictly Galicia-flavoured row 3 with his teammate Jesus Torres alongside Beñat Fernandez on the number 7. He starts on the 3rd row of the grid as he looks to extend his 7-race scoring streak. On the 4th row of the grid, we find Fernando Pejosa, Luca Agostinelli and Gonzalo Perez. Christian Daniel starts from the 5th row in 13th place ahead of Marianos Nicolas and Travis Borg. Matteo Gabarini, a rider to keep an eye on from 16th place on the grid. We caught up with his father yesterday, the well-known crew chief for Pecco Bagnaia in MotoGP, Christian Gabarini. He was very proud of his boy for making his way into Q2 yesterday.
Absolutely, and so he should be as well. Very good stuff indeed. Best result, best weekend of the season thus far for Gabarini Jr. So keep an eye on him. The number 81 starts from the head of the 6th row by my reckoning. Also keep an eye out for the number 90, Agostinelli, Luca Agostinelli, representing Vietnam, despite the Italian flair to such a name. But yes, keep an eye on that. We're yet to have anything spectacular from Vietnam in the world of motorcycle racing. Agostinelli perhaps about to provide it. We're out onto the warm-up lap then, and what a warm-up lap it is going to be to get this ETC race, the final one of the year, off and running. It's Estoril, a circuit which Carlos Cano has been dominant at. It's where the run started back in May. Can he make it? 7th heaven and a new class record over the next 15 laps. Kiko Giles and Lewis Sotheby up here in commentary. And if we struggle to see the screens this time, I think we're going to struggle even more. Smaller bikes, smaller numbers, and even worse eyesight in my case.
And even more chaotic racing, so even harder, I guess,
I
to
didn't want to go
track
there.
them over the course of the race coming up. 15 laps ahead of us. A couple of other riders, I think, to keep an eye on in the early stage of this race. The MIR Racing for Network duo of Mikey Du Sanchez in 18th place, who had his best ever qualifying in the class last time out in Aragon when he was on the second row of the grid, and then got a top 10 finish in the first race of the day. And right behind him, starting in 19th place, Kerman Tinez on the 27, who's up in the top 10 in the championship and also went very, very well at Aragon last time out. A pair of fourth place finishes. It is his lowest qualifying of the year. The first time this year he's qualified outside of the top 10, so expect the Venezuelan to go forwards from there.
Yeah, keep an eye on him for sure. He'll be right in and amongst there, as will Fernando Berjosa. Now, Berjosa starts 10th. He was a podium finisher, his only one in the class here in May. So keep an eye out for the Mallorcan. Of course, that podium, that actually came from the second row of the grid. So he's giving himself a little bit more work this time around. But nonetheless, he'll be able to do it. They're just coming down onto the start and finish straight to take their positions for the final race of their season. And Lewis, if Slipstream plays a part in Junior GP, etc., it's the only thing that will keep this group together.
Yes, and we've seen so many victories over the course of this year decided right on the very last lap, out of the last corner in the final meters of the race. We have also seen a victory this year change hands after the checkered flag back at Jerez earlier in the year. So whilst 15 laps lie ahead of us, expect this to be decided on the final of those 15.
We're about to go racing then, the final time in the European Talent Cup. For 2024, the title has been decided. This is for pride and joy. Revs rise, lights out, and we are racing. Great start from Carlos Cano from the middle of that second row. Keep an eye on the number 71 as they breeze on down towards turn one. David Gonzalez it is, who did initially look like he was going to grab the whole shot. He doesn't get it though. It's Pugliese who strikes back on the Aspar Junior Team machine but gets punted himself at turn two. So coming through, looking good so far. Pugliese versus Gonzalez, getting tight at turn two. But it is Gonzalez, your pole sitter, who holds firm for now. You can guarantee that over the course of 15 laps, it's going to get action-packed. Number 7 of Benjamin Fernandez. Good start from him up into 5th.
It was too much to ask to get 30 ETC riders through turn one. Plenty of them went off the racetrack. Cano actually had an absolute shocker off the line. He was slow away from his 5th place, and he is now in the sort of tail end of this leading group of 6 or 7. You can see the 71 in the back of the picture as the number 7 there of Fernandez comes charging up the inside and now already into the podium reckoning.
Very good stuff from Benyat Fernandez, of course, the number 7. He's been looking very good in recent rounds and recent years too, so watch out. Oh, sideways on, that was a 73 of Valentin Peroni, the Argentinian. Absolutely waving his swing arm around there down into turn 7. This is the rise up towards the chicane. It is a rise as well, but they're all safely through for now. Ooh, pushing and shoving up to 22 involved in the bit contact. Torres.
Bad news for the rider that we flagged up just before the race got underway. Young Gabarini Jr. Unfortunately, he's gone down at turn 7 already on this first lap. He's dropped to the back also.
Absolute disaster then for Matteo Gabarini. Well, that was short-lived, but anyway, he'll hopefully be back to do it all over again next season. Lap 1 in ETC, done and dusted as they come across the stripe for the first time. Ovaskin, Pugliese leads Gonzalez, then it's Fernandez, the 70 Peroni, the 97 is right there as well. That's Marco Morelli. We didn't talk about him too much on that opening lap, but Morelli right there in that lead group. The 69, that's Fernando Berjosa, that's my little outside pick. We spoke about talking about warm-up lap. He's just a little bit detached, but he's in no man's land really. He's right there, if you look at it in the grand scheme, that's still to go. He's there in 7th.
Yeah, already the leading group of 7 are starting to break clear of the group behind them, led by Perlon and the second place driver Galicia machine, Tassini and Torres right behind him. They're already over a second adrift of this group up ahead. The leading group of 7 that are pulling clear. And after such a poor start, not too much damage done in the end for Cano. He only dropped 1 place over the first lap.
Very good stuff indeed. Cano making his moves. That's Fernandez who's gone back on the number 7, the white machine. He's moved back. It's Cano who's gone forward. That's into 4th place. Pugliese leading Gonzalez as it is right now. Down towards turn 7 is difficult. Downhill off camber, easy to make a mistake. We saw it from Adrian Cruces Oh dear me.
Alcina.
That is Pau Alcina, you're correct, Lewis. Good spot there, so disaster for him. That looks like down at turn 2. We've got turn 4 on our board. I thought that was turn 2. Anyway, I'll take the timing as the correct answer. That's probably more mechanical than myself, so Alcina out. Disaster way.
Yeah, Gavarini did rebound after what ever happened to him on the first lap, and he's dropped some 20 seconds off the race lead. So he's away at the back of the field as the pole sitter Gonzalez leads us down the main straight. You're going to get a good idea here of the slipstream effect. He gets to the finish line. Does he get there first? In the end, he gets there first by 7,000ths of a second, but he already slots into 3rd place as they make their way into turn number 1. It's Pugliese who gets to the first corner first, and the pole sitter has shuffled all the way back to 4th now.
Pugliese had so much chatter on the front end, he almost sent a message. He was talking so much down there. Fernando Berjosa, the fastest lap of the race, and he's won in this lead group now. That's 5th for the number 69. Keep an eye on him. But dearie me, Pugliese, you know, that's what I was exclaiming about after down in towards turn 1, because that front end didn't look like it wanted to park itself at all. So we've got yellow flags again at turn 3. We'll keep an eye on that. But leading at the moment, Pugliese ahead of Peroni.
The rider is dropping down the order. No signs of it at the moment. But that lap time from Berjosa helped, of course, by the slipstream at the start of the lap. He was some 0.8 of a second quicker than leader Pugliese. The rider that's dropping down is Rustagni on the number 30 for the BRS Brecon Racing School. So he joins now Alcina on the sidelines.
This is the old contender number 30. That's Rustagni on the BRS Brecon Racing School machine. Mateus Rustagni has gone down. That's a turn 3, so yellow flags out there.
A little bit, not bad looks of it, isn't it, on this lap so far, as the top 2 try to put a little bit of distance between the 5 behind them who are falling all over each other, trying to take leadership of this chase route, as once again Pugliese will lead us out of the final corner. The evidence so far from the limited list we've seen so far as we come down to complete lap 3 of 15 is that you won't make it to the first corner first with that kind of strategy, and already at this early stage is computing in their minds where you want to be towards the latter stages. Pugliese actually did get a good run in the end. It held Peroni back into turn number 1, and Peroni's now under pressure from the number 69 of Berjosa, who comes through now into 2nd place.
And another fastest lap of the race as well, so 2 laps running. Berjosa, your fastest rider. So there he is, the 69 making moves. Well, we said keep an eye on him from 10th on the grid. He was making rider here back in May from 5th on the grid, so he's done the hard work already, put himself in a prime position. So the number 69 from Palma de Mallorca, wow, what a fine result that would be for the 15-year-old. He only turned 15 back in July. He's already making headway and making waves. This is the kick at turn 5, down towards the making area at turn 6. I tell you what, Pugliese looks very, very good on the brakes everywhere. He looks very strong at turn 6. He looks pretty decent down at turn 1. This is a battle further back. It looks like Gonzalez was just being shoved out by Cano on the number 71.
Yeah, of course, we're not talking about a class with any sort of machine advantage across the field, so potentially it's the key remove the 31 of Pugliese, which is able to keep him up at the front. He's clearly got a good enough speed at the end of the straight that even with the slipstream, those behind him on the main straight last time around could do nothing with it. As the 97 now, Morelli comes through into 2nd place. Reminder, Morelli is in pole position to take 2nd in the championship behind Cano. He finishes in the top 8, but he will be all on a run.
That was a bit tight there. Morelli coming through on Berjosa. That was at turn 12. And of course, all these bikes identical, but maybe the 31 of Pugliese a little bit braver when it comes to braking as well. That always makes a difference. Down the front straight, big slipstream effect this time around. Peroni, watch the pit boards. That was Berjosa getting very, very close indeed. Hugging that inside white line, the 69, but it's the 97 who leads. Now it is, and Berjosa from 10th on the grid has come through, and he leads the way at turn 1. Pugliese strong on the race, as we have mentioned. That's pushing through for 3rd place on the 73 of Valentin Peroni. Oh, big moment through turn 2 and out to the curbs. Morelli leads, but big moment for Pugliese there. And I think the 73 of Peroni just got to roll out of that ever so slightly.
Doing a lot worse there for Pugliese to turn 1 into them. Just the early lines, the back of the lines that we should draw attention to. The race coming away. You mentioned Tines on the 26 27. The Venezuelan started in 19th place. He's now been to 9th spot and doing similar sort of lap times to the leaders in the mid 146s. He's 3.3 seconds off the lead. He's just out of picture there, running in 9th spot.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. Very good spot indeed, Lewis. The Venezuelan there in 9th place. The number 27 we're talking about. He's not the 33, he's the 27 on that purple machine topper's shot. Also keep an eye on Agostinelli. He's just a few places further back. The number 90 is in 13th place. So all the way down, there's a lot of big names to keep an eye on. This is up towards the chicane. Big lunge for the lead. Bahosa is battling and trying to push any way which he can, over, under, or on top of whoever is in ahead of him, and he has got through at last. So Marco Morelli bullied by Bahosa and out of the way. Bahosa leads.
They moved that from Bahosa, who's yet to take a victory course in the European Talent Cup, but this could be his day based on the evidence we've seen so far. They've been clearly watching the Junior GP race earlier on today, haven't they? Because we saw plenty of riders there looking to get overtaken into that switchback hairpins, but they were able to hang it out around the outside, and they'd have the inside for the right-hander. They fan out 4-5 abreast then into turn number 1, and it's the 71 of Cano, the defending newly crowned champion, who gets into turn 1 first, but doesn't come out of turn 1 in the lead.
Yeah, I think he might have left his bacon a little bit too late. Either that or he was sucked along by the slipstream. We said about Bahosa, he was right there for leading down the front straight. He didn't quite get it done across the line though. So Bahosa it is, who is still in the top 3. We didn't have it at the checkered flag. Coming through turn 4, watch for the kink at turn 5, and then all the way through. Pugliese it is who leads Cano at the moment.
So 10 laps remaining then of this one. Pugliese, your leader, looking to see if anyone further back is beginning to jump across the gap to this group. Bellon is starting to catch ever so slightly on this lap on the 33 for the Estrella Galicia team, so we could soon have a leading group of 8 at the front. Tinez is stuck behind Tassini in that battle for 9th place. He's not getting any closer to this group yet.
Well, not yet, but if they keep battling like they are, you never know. That was Bahosa moving through on Peroni down at turn 7 and up in towards the chicane. Ooh, it's tight, but not this time around. Pugliese just having to hold off Carlos Cano. Well, we've seen it a few other times this year. He's had to just grow into the races. This was where he dominated, of course, in one race, and he had to fight a bit harder for it in race 2, back at Estoril in May, but he's leading again now. Let's see what he's got down this front straight. Through the Ayrton Senna Parabolica we go. Turn 13. And then down this 986 metres start and finish straight. And you can guarantee that Slipstream is going to have a big effect. And it does. Pugliese moves on through before the line. And that's how he leads, actually. Cano, Peroni, there in 3rd. 4th for Fernandez, but it's all being reshuffled down in towards turn 1. Bahosa coming through. And for the 2nd time of asking, Cano just a little bit optimistic on the brakes. He goes wide, so the 14-year-old's got a lot of work to do again.
Although I'm sure he's more than capable of doing that work. If there's one rider you feel who would be well equipped to show the rest around this Estoril circuit, it would be the champion Cano. But as you say, that's 2 laps in a row now where he's got it wrong into turn number 1. As we see him move there at the inside from one of the Franco bikes into turn 2. As we have a look once again, watch out for the 71. To be fair, was the front end was chattering. He was lucky not to run into the back of Pugliese there into turn number 1. So that was probably the lesser of 2 evils there for the champion.
And I tell you what, good racecraft as well. He checked up before coming back onto the track, so he knew where he was going to slot in and trying to do it as seamlessly and as easily as possible without causing too many dramas elsewhere down the field. Anyway, back at the front, Pugliese and Bahosa. He likes to... Oh, he does like turn 8, turn 7, sorry. Good up the inside. So the 6-9 of Bahosa making some big moves here. Keep an eye on him. I hope he hasn't peaked too soon, because we've still got 9 laps to go, believe it or not. Yeah,
the Frando VHC machine that we saw coming through into 2nd was Peroni, but he didn't stay in 2nd for very long, did he? As Bahosa goes back through into 2nd place. Cano is still in that leading group somewhere. Here he is. We just picked the champion coming up there through these shots. So he's 3 bikes from the back of this group. So he runs 6th in this race as we now come onto the home straight once again. We've seen him come through to battle for podiums from much further back on the running order than that earlier on in the season, particularly cast your minds back right to the beginning of the year in Barcelona, where he came all the way from 25th on the grid to fight for the podium.
Slipstream effect, how much would you like? Yes, that's the answer. Down across the stripe and into the braking area. Morelli, whoa, trying to get it stopped. He was briefly ahead, and he's gone back. All Bahosa runs wide. I tell you what, I just wonder, Lewis, back in May, of course, it's very windy at that time of year here at Estoril, and it was bad weather that day as well. I just wondered, there's no wind. They've all just got their braking markers a little bit messed up for today's race, because that's quite a few riders now, multiple times each, going off at turn 1.
It is a slightly downhill approach too into turn 1, so easy to do that as Pugliesi's now getting beaten up there in the background by Cano. They're battling now for 5th and 6th place, so they certainly were when the lap began. They're now, 5th and 6th in your picture. The 73 of Peroni leads as Bajosa now has a look up the inside as the door is very quickly slammed shut in his face.
Yeah, I think you could slam the door shut or carve a hole in it by the time we get down here. So this is turn 7. We've seen him make loads of moves down here already, up the inside. Now he's trying to go the long way. Beñat Fernandez is still there as well. That's 4th for him. Cano is regrouping in 5th. 6th for Pugliese, 7th for Bellon in the number 33 colours, and your pole sitter David Gonzalez completes a frantic top 8, and it's all changed to chicane as well, so very good stuff indeed right the way through the top 8 in a minute. 9th is Tassini, and then it's your Venezuelan hot pick Luis Tinez who completes your top 10. Jesus Torres just a little bit further back in 11th.
Yeah, I was just keeping an eye on that battle at the bottom end of the top 10. Gonzalez, the pole sitter, hasn't done an awful lot. He's been quiet so far in this race, but he might just be keeping his powder dry for later on. But certainly in the previous lap, that Tassini, Tinez, Torres group were all closing in on the battle for the lead that we're seeing, as they're now in the 47s, 46-2 for Torres on the 22 in 11th, and you can see this group now closing up.
Fernandez having a big look up the inside, couldn't quite get it done that time around though. So Fernandez briefly ahead, but he's still in the podium positions. Oh, it's so tight. I always hold my breath if someone's going around the outside of someone at turn 2. Look who's come up into 2nd place, Bellon, on the other Team Estrella Galicia machine. So what an unbelievable turn of events. He was 7th a few corners ago. He's 2nd now. Fantastic.
We did see Cano a couple of times going wide into turn 1. He has now been given a track limits warning, so I guess the pressure's all off for Carlos Cano. He doesn't need to worry too much about the results here, but he does have some history to potentially to make, as Kiko mentioned before the race got underway. But already with only just over half race completed in this final ETC race of the season, Cano's already walking a bit of a tightrope.
He is, and he's got a long way to try and walk it as well. So Cano in 7th place ahead of Gonzalez. I'll tell you what, Lewis, that gap looks like it shrunk between the 2 AC Racing Team machine bikes, 8th and 9th. Well, it's just about 1.4 seconds at the minute, but I would be keeping a very close eye on that. That looks to me like that's coming right down, and if it is, we're going to have Tassini, Tinez, Torres, Ikegami in there, Agostinelli, all the way down probably to about 15th place. We'll be fighting for points, let alone podiums.
As mentioned on the previous lap, they were the thick end of a second a lap quicker than the leaders, as the leaders are all chopping each other up. It's a little bit of calm finally has descended on this leading group as 4 now start to stretch clear. I think the pace is going to get back into the 46s here as the 97 of Morelli leads us across the line, of course, as he looks to secure 2nd in the championship. And he's got a few bike lanes clear now, hasn't he, of this 3-way battle for 2nd. The pace has picked up once again. Morelli down to a 46.3, and he's stretched an advantage out over this group behind him.
I love that this is your image of calmness, Lewis.
Yeah,
good Lord.
relatively speaking.
What is a night out with you like, I must wonder. So through turn 1 and 2 they come, and it was calm at the front, I suppose. Morelli's just about got, what we're talking, a few bike lengths, or what were we talking, a few bike
chasm
lengths?
by ETC
yeah,
standards.
Yeah, literally a chasm as well. But getting his magnets out, that's a 73 off Peroni, and Beñat Fernandez is going with him. So they're pretty much back as one group at the moment. They won't want to give Morelli too much time at the front here. Morelli's one of those more experienced riders, does a lot of racing in other classes as well. Of course, you mentioned at the top of this show that he's moving on up towards Moto3 next year. So for Morelli, you won't want to give him too much time on his own at the front without disturbance, because he'll be able to build some foundations from that you can be for sure aware of as they come in through. That looks again like our good friend, oh no, it was the 33 of Bellon.
Yeah, he's dropped it back a bit on this lap. Cano's gone through on him into 4th place. Pugliesi's now through into 5th, so having got himself up into 2nd place, Bellon's not been able to stick around at the front, although he's certainly going to try and stick it up the inside there into turn 9, up the inside of Pugliese, who has to check up and almost runs into the pole sitter.
I tell you what, that knocks about 3 or 4 of them offline as well. That's really spread the group out. I tell you what, they've caught the leader, but they've fragmented the group. That little moment at turn 8 there has just cost them a little bit of time. So keep an eye on that as they get into the last 5 laps of this race. Just on Enzo Bellon as well. He's from Réunion Island. He's French, but he's from Réunion. He's from the long overseas part of France, just off the coast of Africa. So keep an eye on your number 33. Not too many people with his heritage from Réunion, at least, on this grid. Oh, someone was backing it in there, but keep an eye on the 33. More on that later as we get back to the front. The 97 of Morelli from Fernandez. It is now in second.
Cano looks suspiciously wide once again into turn 1. He's in 4th place, but he's, as mentioned, already walking a tightrope. He might soon be in a little bit of trouble from these stewards if he continues to push his luck like that. So the teammates battling it out for 2nd and 3rd place. Fernandez and Peroni running 2nd and 3rd. Morelli's had about as long a spell in the lead as I think we've had so far in this ETC race, but still 5 laps for this all to shake out.
And it will shake out one way or another, you can be sure of that one. Down in towards turn 6, this is the Parabolica interior. It's a big, open, wide, sweeping corner if you want it to be. Oh, that's the AC Racing team of Gonzalez, I think it is. It is, yes, the number 11 of Gonzalez in his last race in the class, your pole sitter. Starting to move forward. That's 6th place for him. Pugliese again having a big old look on the inside. That was the 4th place rider, Cano, your already crowned champion. Keep an eye on the 71. Oh, Pugliese. No, I think that's a camera just getting us going up here in commentary. Pugliese, he'll be looking to end this season on the high as well. He's one of just 2 riders that have beaten Cano this year.
Yeah, that was Bellon who was getting overtaken there for 6th place by Gonzalez. And then he had a big look behind him on the way out of turn 6 down towards 7, which might be a bit of a telltale sign that he's finding this hotter pace at the front a little bit too hot for him, and he's now beginning to have a look behind to see how many places he may well lose in the final 5 laps as they go side by side down the home straight. The 7 there of Fernandez might be in the best possible position there to pick a hole down to turn number 1. But he now finds himself on the outside once again. It's the 97 of Morelli who leads us into turn number 1, and the runner-up spot in the championship appears to be in his hands right now.
Pugliese, fastest lap of the race, 4 laps to go. So Pugliese was box office first half of this race. I think he's going to be box office until the checkered flag. If he makes it that far, that is, of course, an ETC. Can always be a bit of carnage and chaos somewhere along the line. 73 of Peroni up the inside of Morelli. The Argentinians doing battle. Through they come. So Peroni leads Morelli. Then in 3rd place at the moment looks like Fernandez on the number 7. 4th place at the moment, Pugliese. And look at him riding the curve. He's completely offline. He's going to let the brakes off, is he? Not this time. Watch Carlos Cano. He's on the outside there. That's 5th place. And David Gonzalez, Lewis, is just creeping back into this. That's 6th.
Well, he set his personal best lap last time around at 1:46.2. Pugliese set the fastest lap of the whole race on a 1:46.0 as they now bunch up into 7 once again. So we're soon going to see which riders have got the superior late race pace in this one. Morelli is doing 46.8 in the lead, but he's really fighting a rear guard action at this stage. Big move there at the inside as Cano now tries to get himself up to speed and get himself up into the podium reckoning, which is where he's been pretty much exclusively this year.
I remind you, Cano is chasing that 7th win of the year. What a miraculous achievement that would be. 14 years of age, my dearie me, he's got some future. But Cano looking to put his name in the record books for probably what is really going to be the foreseeable at the moment. Only Ethan Guevara and David Alonso have managed to do 6. Keep an eye on Cano. He's looking to try and make it 7. More on that in a few laps' time. Across the line we go. We're now in 2/3 race distance territory. If there is a red flag, it will go out and we will have a result. And that's something everyone's more than aware of. Ooh, tight at turn 1. Pugliese having a look up the inside of Cano. Can't quite get it done this time. Gonzalez is 6th. Then it's Bellon. And in 8th place, it is now Jesus Torres. Really?
He was the fastest rider of this group on the last lap. It was a 46.1. He was a second quicker than the leaders last time around. Torres on the 22 machine. The 2 Estrella Galicia riders are in this group. Bellon had another look behind coming out of turn 1. He's beginning to slip back.
I'll tell you why I hesitated there. I was looking for Bahosa, and Bahosa has stopped somewhere out of this group. We saw that he just started dropping back, but he has stopped, and he is now down and well out in 27. So what a shame for Fernando Bujosa. Well, that's my hot pick done. There he is, right on cue. Well, he was on a Honda. He's not anymore. He's on his feet. Good branding, though.
Difficult to know from that whether he had a bike problem or whether he crashed. All we know from our time in series is that he has stopped, but the action certainly hasn't stopped in this group. It's still a group of around 7 or 8, isn't it, at the front of this field as they take every line possible into turn 9, and it's Pugliese up the inside there on the 73 of Peroni, now back up into second place, but once again Morelli able to pull out 1 or 2 bike lengths up at the front.
And look at who's ghosted up. Well, my op pit might have gone out, but yours is still going, Lewis. Your 27 of Tinez is right there. And that is your purple bike just at the back of shot behind the 22 of Jesus Torres. Those two have worked together to get into this lead group as they come down across the line. Penultimate lap time. You want to start making your way towards the front, but not perhaps at the front because it's still got a lap and a long slipstream battle to go.
Oh, Peroni there up the inside in second place. Very nearly ran up into the back of Pugliese in that one. So Tinez is now in 9th place, but he's only 7/10 of a second off the lead. And reminder, he came from 19th place on the grid.
Remarkable stuff. He scored 47 points all season long. 2 top 4s last time out. He didn't finish at all here back in May. So keep an eye on Tinez. Might not like this race, but he's in a good bit of form for Motorland Aragon. 27 I'm talking about, the purple bike just behind the 22 of Torres. It's Pugliese who leads at the moment. Second place for Peroni, then it's Fernandez. Gary Gonzalez looking to come through and into the podium places, and he does so. Good stuff from him. The 33, that is coming through of Bellon, and he gets ahead and pushes Tinez wide. A little bit out wide there for Pugliese, but he was on the blue. No penalties for that.
I was about to draw attention to Cano. He's now starting to make some progress. There he is on your picture now, just gone through into 5th position. He's gone through there on Morelli, who started this lap right up towards the front of the field. He's now back into 6th place. A lap and a half remaining as Cano now defends that position and only loses it there on the right-hander. Has he left himself too much to do? Because a bit of a gap has opened up to the leading group of 4 up ahead of it.
1.6 covers the top 10. I think we're in for a Grand Slam finish for the European Talent Cup, not just here at Estoril, but for the entirety of 2024. For the penultimate time of Oscar, they exit the final corner, and now we have last lap time as they come across the line. Pugliese, I tell you what, that CF Moto Aspart machine looks good in a straight line. The gearing on that is absolutely fine. No question of Pugliese there, down in towards turn 1. Gonzalez is second, fastest lap of the race. Last time around, third for Peroni. Beñat Fernandez fourth. Cano with a lot of ground to make up there. Even by Carlos Cano standards, I'm not sure he can do it. No. And Marco Morelli's now pounced as well, so he's got a lot of work and perhaps a little bit of magic to work. The number 71 I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's going backwards on this lap. I think that was Bellon who was going past him as well into 6th place. I think Cano's now 7th as we come through the first sector of this final lap. Looks like it's between 4. Bellon there out wide on the outside of that left-hander of 3. And of course, if you do go onto the green on this final lap, it's an automatic 1-position drop.
Great reminder there, Lewis, on the green in terms of paint. Oh, Gonzalez up the inside. The turn 6 along that penalty areas down there, but good stuff for Gonzalez, who hits the front. Don't look behind, all eyes forward. Oh, maybe you do want to be looking behind because through is coming Peroni, who's pushing and shoving Pugliese out of the way. Oh, Giulio Pugliese, I'll just make a merge of his name there. 7th of Beñat Fernandez. Lewis, whoa! Dear me, where are we looking now for making a pass?
Anywhere and everywhere on this final lap. Peroni hasn't won, though, this year. He has had a number of second places. Is he about to depart for Moto3 next season in the grand manner with a final victory on the final day?
We're coming through the Ayrton Senna Parabolica for the final time. 8 podiums so far for David Gonzalez, but a win is missing. He exits the final corner. Has he shot too early? It's going to be Slipstream City all the way to the line. Your pole sitter, Peroni, or is it Pugliese? Wow, work that one out. Peroni by 0.003 of a second.
Covering the top 3.
It's the closest European Talent Cup finish we've seen. Fantastic stuff from Valentin Peroni, who makes it Argentina on top. Brilliant stuff from him. It's a first win in the class. Second for David Gonzalez.
Well, dead heat for second place between Gonzalez and Pugliese. That will need a photograph to sort that one out.
And for sure we'll have it, and we might even be able to have a look at it. If not, go with the JuniorGP social media and they'll post it somewhere. But Valentin Peroni, the number 73, the 4th winner of this season, David Gonzalez, well, he's going to have to wait again. At the minute, it's another second place. Third for Pugliese, who I thought had it all done. And of course, we may even have track limits to come into contention. We can see the number 33 of Bellon has already been given 3 seconds for track limits. That drops him down to
10th place, I believe, behind Tinez on the final lap. But yeah, 3 thousandths of a second, covered the top 3 over the line. In case you liked your racing close, you were well served in the final ETC race of the year. Fernandez 4th, although he was only a 10th back. Morelli set the fastest lap of the race on the final lap, but that only earned him 5th. And Cano did leave himself way too much to do. He finished 6th.
Pugliese is going to get the Valencian flag. That's a lovely reminder that we do race for Valencia indeed here at Estoril. Even on a Wednesday, it's we are racing in honour for Valencia at the moment, and particularly Aspar. They are a Valencian team, so a lot of emotions right the way through there. From Moto 3 as well, when David Alonso was your race winner in Barcelona, and then of course now here in the JuniorGP paddock. But Valentin Peroni, well, he left it as late as he could, but timed it to perfection. Absolutely perfect. We did think that perhaps David Gonzalez had left it just a little bit too early to lead out that last corner. He really could have been doing with being second or third, and in the end it's Peroni who gets the job done, and that is a fine result for the number 73. Of course, he has had podiums as well. He has had 3 of them this year, but this will be the best one. The 4th podium, the first win for Peroni. I can remember, I think it was Aragon last year, he absolutely erupted onto the ETC scene, and he has been touted as one of the biggest talents to go on and do great things in the Moto 3 World Championship and beyond, I'm sure. Giulio Pugliese, now hang on a moment. Now that looks like it's changed, either that or we've got a wrong graphic on. Giulio Pugliese, on our timing screens, is 3rd. Now, maybe there's been a change. It was an absolute dead heat, and confirmation through our headset there has been a change. Giulio Pugliese will inherit 2nd place. So Pugliese and Gonzalez, it was a complete dead heat across the line for 3 thousandths of a second, and the closest ever podium finish in ETC history. And it has been changed. David Gonzalez, he's still on the podium. He'll just have to do it from 3rd place. Now, I wonder if that is for a track limits infringement, or is it for the fastest lap time? Well, we'll have to wait and see exactly why. It doesn't matter because it's done. Pugliese has got 2nd place. Massive, great big burnout. Thank you very much. Tyre manufacturers will love that one. Pugliese, Gonzalez, maybe a bit mooted there. David Gonzalez started on pole. He's still on the podium, so there's not a lot to be unhappy about. He would have liked that first win. I can tell you what, he would have been more gutted if he was the winner and then he'd have it pinched off him. But David Gonzalez, shake it out. Well, he leaves ETC with 9 podiums to his name. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, he'll go on and I'm sure move up towards JuniorGP, wherever it is he's going to be. Gonzalez, very, very strong indeed, right the way through his 2 years and a little bit in ETC. Do love the celebrations. Valentin Peroni, your race winner. Fantastic stuff from him. 17th race start. This is how it all unfolded. Oh no, this is down towards turn 1. Pugliese leading the way. We got Peroni there, just going to let the brakes off and slip it through, making a dive for the apex, but even with that front end chatter, he couldn't make that stop. This is David Gonzalez. We're re-watching the highlights of the last lap. You can make this into a reel itself. Gonzalez moving through. This is at turn 6. That was his move for the win. I just think maybe he went a little bit early. And then out the final corner. Well, we didn't see this shot on the live broadcast, but this is the replay. Oh, it's tight, it's tight. And watch for Pugliese. God, blimey, that's close. Tell you what, Pugliese looked like he had it by a mile when you slow it down like that, but obviously he didn't. Very good stuff. Valentin Peroni, what about it? The Frando Racing VHC team by 0.003 of a second. I can tell you that the top 6 covered by less than a second. We're going to get ready for the interview, though. It is Valentin Peroni for the first time in the winners area.
Valentin Peroni, what a way to sign off before moving up to Moto 3. You've been so close on so many times this season, but you got that win. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel super happy also to got the last victory in the last race. The last race also with Frando is incredible, and the race was really difficult. So many riders pushing, battling all the time. And yeah, just thank you to my team, Frando. They made an amazing year with me, working super hard every race and nothing. Also thank you to Rider Formation. I train there every day and they were always with me. And mi mamá es mentira, and to all the people who trust me. Thank you.
And also some words in your own language for us.
Bueno, pues ha sido una carrera súper complicada. Desde el principio me he quedado un poco en medio, aguantando el ritmo que ponían los otros. Y bueno, agradecer a mi equipo por todo el trabajo que han hecho este año y bueno, también dedicarles la carrera a ellos, que es la última que voy a hacer con ellos. Y nada, también agradecer a Rider Formation, mi mamá es mentira, y a toda la gente que está conmigo. Y también a mi familia, por supuesto.
Great ride, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a brilliant ride. Lewis will be now sprinting back up to commentary. No need, Lewis, don't worry. We've got it all sorted up here in the comms box. These are your highlights, or low lights, depending on who you are. The number 69, Fernando Bajosa, was the rider who was making waves in the early stages. Carlos Cano, considering he's UTC champion, I do not think we spoke about him that much at all in the race, and in the end he doesn't set a new record for wins in a season, but it was absolutely gloves off, as you can imagine. Marco Moretti was right there all the way through the race. The 32 of Enzo Bellon came through, the rider from Reunion Island, but it really was an absolute riot at the front of the field. The MLAV Racing team with good representation right inside the leading positions. Benyat Fernandez on the Frando Racing VHC team battling with teammate Peroni. But in the end, Giulio Pugliese led down the start and finished straight to just about hold on down into turn one, although he didn't have an answer for your pole sitter. That was David Gonzalez. Going for a second pole of the season, looking to try and get a first win. But by hitting the front, I think he just cost himself a little bit of time and was slipstreamed by the line in what is another superb finish at Estoril, the closest podium finish of all time. And as if by magic, we're ready for the podium, even though there's no riders to be seen anywhere. I presume they're still coming on. Here we go. This is David Gonzalez. Smile, David. It might never happen. Not a bad race at all from him. Fantastic from pole to get another podium sorted. Second for Giulio Pugliese. But for the first time on the top step of the box, Valentin Peroni has been phenomenal. 16 years of age. He turned 17 on the 28th of December this year. So that experience and that win, of course, now proving to pay dividends for now and in the future. Trophies handed out. Second place, that's third place for David Gonzalez. Here we go, the trophy presented by Jean-Marc Denou. Second for Pugliese, and the fourth different winner of the 2024 season. It is Valentin Peroni. Of course, don't forget he had 2 wins in the Rookies Cup. He was already third in that as well. That's all obviously done and dusted. 206 points to his name. We've got the national anthem. This is Argentina. Very musical. My first time hearing the Argentinian national anthem, and with Valentin Peroni and Marco Moretti about, I'm sure it will not be the last. And get ready with the celebrations. Of course, it's not Prosecco. They are nowhere near old enough. But we will get the fizzy water, is it? Is it sparkling water? It looks that way. They can keep that. That is for certain. And yet now they've been given the green light. David Gonzalez in his first race, in his last race, wanting to make a complete mess all over the show. And yeah, all good fun and games up there on the podium. Fantastic stuff all round. Lewis Sotheby has joined me back in the commentary box. Someone has just got to go and change their jacket. It was absolutely dripping wet, but great to see Valentine Peroni, your race winner, Lewis, and very eloquent down there as well in his interview with you.
Speaks very well, very mature young man, and it's that maturity, not in small part, the talent too, which has convinced Hervé Poncharal and Nico Goyon to put their faith in him for the future. He signs off in ETC with his first win.
What about it, though? It doesn't get much closer. Top 6 covered by less than 8/10 of a second. Carlos Cano, 6 wins. He finishes 6th in his last race of the season. Gabriel Tassini, Jesus Torres, and Kerdeman Dinez for Venezuela, just 2 seconds off the win. So a lot of nationalities in South America for sure on the rise. Enzo Ballon, 10th place there, ahead of Ikegami, 8.8 seconds back. Mikey Liu in 12th place, Christian Daniel Jr. 13th, Longarela and Borg, the point scorers. Unfortunate for Luca Agostinelli, just 3/10 back of scoring points in his final race of the year. All the way through we go. Down to Yvonne Serpa, just behind Remy San Juan. That's in 24th and 25th positions. And we'll just get the next page over as well to talk about some of the riders who didn't quite make it to the checkered flag. Big ones in Fernando Bujosa, Pau Alsina as well. Those two will have to go again next year, along with Matteo Gabarini. We're going to get your final championship standings now. And Carlos Cano, well, that was already decided anyway. Marco Morelli and Giulio Pugliese, your top 3 overall. David Gonzalez ahead of Valentine Peroni. In the end, close between them, just 11 between them. Jesus Torres, Fernandez, Leonardo Zani, and Kerdeman Tinez there in 9th place. So a solid end to the season for Tinez. Keep an eye on him moving forward, the number 27 for next year. On the second page, as you can see, Enzo Ballon moves up as well a little bit ahead of Alex Longarela. Pau Alsina, no points as he was an early faller. Fernando Bujosa, he showed plenty there in the final race of the season. Keep an eye on him moving forward towards 2025. That is it for the European Talent Cup in 2024. Record history and a lot more to come in next season. Carlos Cano, your champion, but a 4th different winner of the year in Valentine Peroni. They'll go into their off-season. We'll get ready for Moto2 up next, and there's a title on the line there.